Hi, everyone. Welcome to Skill Power. This month, we're exploring a core truth that can completely change the way we relate to recovery. You don't have to do this alone. In fact, you're not meant to do it alone. Your brain wasn't designed for solo survival, especially not in a world saturated with emotional triggers and addictive processed foods. That's why this month is all about support. How to recognize when your own internal strength is running low, and how to lean on reinforcement before you spiral into cravings. Let's begin with why this matters so much. In recovery, there's this lingering idea that we should be able to just power through, that if we just had more willpower, we wouldn't keep falling into the same traps. But here's the truth: willpower is not the problem. The real issue is that our control systems, the ones that help us stay on track, are fragile. They get tired, they get overwhelmed, they go offline. And when this happens, our brain starts scanning for relief. And for many of us, that relief has long been linked to processed food. So when we say use support, what we mean is add reinforcement when your internal systems are down. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Our online community exists for this exact reason. It's a place where reinforcement is always available, where someone is always there to say, come back, you're not alone. Support is the antidote to the isolation that addiction thrives in. It interrupts the cycle before the craving gets a foothold. Let's talk about the science. When you're in a strong place, when you've slept, eaten, and aren't overloaded emotionally, your brain's decision making center, called the prefrontal cortex, is in charge. This part of the brain helps you think clearly, plan ahead, and make choices that support long term goals. But the prefrontal cortex is delicate. It runs on limited energy, and it's one of the first systems to go offline when you're emotionally exhausted, stressed out, sleep deprived, and overstimulated. The prefrontal cortex is also highly sensitive to blood sugar changes, inflammation, and even subtle signals of social threat. So, even something as small as a tense conversation or a skipped meal can affect your ability to stay in recovery thinking. So, what happens when the prefrontal cortex shuts down? Your reward system takes over. This part of your brain is designed to seek quick relief and emotional payoff. It doesn't care about your recovery plan. It cares about escaping pain. And in that moment, if you don't have reinforcement in place, your brain will reach for the fastest route to dopamine, and that's often processed food. Processed foods are engineered to trigger that system. They hit your brain like a neurological alarm bell, promising fast relief. If your control system is already offline, that cue response loop happens before you even realize it. Let's go deeper into this idea of limited control. There's a concept in psychology called ego depletion. It means that the more you use your self control throughout the day, the more your brain gets tired. Every time you make a decision, big or small, you use up mental energy. Every time you resist saying something you want to say, or hold back a reaction, or push through when you're exhausted, your brain is draining its battery. By the time evening comes, many people are mentally depleted, and that's when cravings tend to strike. It's not that you suddenly lost all motivation. It's that your brain is trying to survive with the little energy it has left. And this is especially true for people who are caretaking, managing stress at work, dealing with chronic illness, or just navigating constant stimulation from technology and social environments. Your brain is working hard all day long. Of course, it's tired. And here's the danger: when we expect ourselves to make our best choices at our worst moments, we set ourselves up to fail. So instead of white knuckling it, what if we gave our brains what they actually need? That's what support does. When you engage with skills and tools that you learn here in our online community, like listening to a call, reading the daily email, or even replaying a clip you've heard before, you're not just getting information, you're giving your brain a lifeline. Let's look at how that works. Number one, cognitive reorientation. Hearing recovery. Content helps the prefrontal cortex re-engage. Number two, cue interruption. Support breaks the link between a trigger and a craving. Number three, nervous system regulation. A calm, compassionate voice activates the vagus nerve. And number four, internal modeling. Hearing others cope well builds your own recovery script. These small inputs make a big difference because they keep the recovery part of your brain awake. So, how do you know when your control is low? Some signs are subtle. You start feeling foggy or like you're going through the motions. You find yourself craving something vague. You feel unmotivated to use your tools. And others are louder. You're planning a slip. You're isolating or pulling away. You're justifying decisions that you know don't feel good. But these are not failures. These are flares your brain is sending up saying, please give me some reinforcement. What's amazing is that just a few minutes of connection can shift everything. Even listening in the background while you fold laundry or drive can restore your capacity. So this week, try building a small reinforcement habit. Think of it like charging your phone before it dies. Here are some simple ways to begin. Play one of our videos when you're cooking dinner. Read the daily email before you open social media. Join a call without pressure to share, just to listen. Let someone know, I'm doing a reset right now. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing what works. Reinforcement doesn't fix everything, but it changes the trajectory. It turns a downward spiral into a turning point. Here are a few journal prompts that can help you connect with your experience and build insight into how support works for you. These are not assignments to get right. They're invitations to gently get curious about your patterns. Prompt number one, what time of day do I tend to lose control? And what leads up to it? This question helps identify your personal vulnerability windows. What happens earlier that day? Did you skip a tool or feel emotionally depleted? Prompt number two, what's my brain telling me when I resist using support? Our brains often push back on support. You should handle this yourself, or support won't work. These are old survival thoughts. Naming them helps you step out of them. Prompt number 3, how could I make support part of my regular rhythm, not just my emergency plan? Could you listen while cooking, read the email before bed, or replay a call on your walk? Regular reinforcement builds long-term strength. This practice of reflection is a form of reinforcement too. It tells your brain, I am paying attention, I'm learning, I'm creating something new. So this week, let yourself notice when your brain is asking for help, when your energy is dipping, when you're starting to shift into craving mode. And then, without judgment, reach for support. Your recovery doesn't depend on your being perfect. It depends on you being honest, kind to yourself, and willing to lean on the structure that's already here. You are not alone. You were never meant to be. Thanks for spending this time together. Next week, we'll explore how to choose the right kind of support for the moment you're in. Until then, keep noticing, keep reaching, and keep reinforcing. Your brain is listening.